AI agents are the biggest trend in AI right now. They are everywhere. Instead of just chatting with AI, we can build systems that can use tools, access knowledge bases, analyze data, and remember the context. In this video, I'll show you how to create your first AI agent with Microsoft AI Foundry in just under 10 minutes. Let's get started. Let's first understand what an AI agent is. An AI agent is an autonomous software system powered by large language models that can pursue its environment, reason, plan, and take actions using tools to achieve specific goals without constant human supervision. Unlike chatbots that just generate text, agents use memory, workflows, and tools integration to solve complex tasks. Without further ado, let's jump into the AI Foundry. Okay, now I do have my resource group here, which I deployed a couple of resources that we need in order to create our AI agents and use specific tools. First, we need is Foundry, which is the core platform that we're going to use. Then we need a storage account that will hold our internal documents that our AI agent can process. Then we're going to need a search service, which is actually going to index our documents from the storage account and let our AI agent to use those documents, right? So these are the three big resources that we need. If I jump into the Microsoft AI Foundry, this is a new Foundry UI, which you can see a toggle here. So in order to build your first AI agent, I go to the build here. Then on the left side, you can see I do have agents panel, which I do have my first agent created here. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to go to create an agent here. I'm going to name my agent. So it's going to be Azure Spring Clean 2026, right? So we do have a community, Azure Spring Clean. You can find it on LinkedIn. You can find it on Sessionize, which we do it every spring about everything about Azure, right? So we go to create it. Then this is the first look. What I'm going to do here is first I need to select my model. I do have a couple of deployed models, and I do have popular models here. So you need to be cautious about which model to deploy because not every model supports the same capabilities. Hence, that's the reason I'm going to go with the GPT-4o, or you can go with the GPT 4.1, because I think right now, if I go here, you can see if I select the 5.3, it says it doesn't work with the web search tool yet, right? So you need to be cautious about that. So I'm going to go with the GPT 4o for now. I know, even though it's an old model here. So we do have a parameters, temperature and top P, which I'm going to left everything as default right now. And text format, you can actually select different text formats like JSON object or schema, right? And we can let the agent choose when to use, or we can let it use always. Then we do have a voice mode, which is in preview, which if I turn it on, I can actually talk with my agent instead of typing. And basically, we're going to take the workflow from there. I'm going to skip this for now. What we need is instructions, right? We need to instruct our agent, tell my agent what to do, how to do it, what to pay attention to. So what I'm going to do is, in this demo, I'm going to create an agent for Azure Cloud Operation Assistant agent. So I do have an instructions like this, which is basically saying, hey, you're an Azure Cloud Operation Assistant designed to help engineers manage and optimize Azure environments. And your role is to assist with these domains in Azure. And it says you have access to the following tools and must use them when appropriate, right? So we need to make sure agent is aware of its tools, right? SharePoint knowledge. So basically, in order to use a SharePoint, if you're very heavy on SharePoint environment, you need to have Microsoft Copilot 365 license, which I don't have right now, so I cannot demonstrate it. Web search, which is a tool to let your agent search the whole web and bring you information from there. Code interpreter, which basically lets your agent to work with the code, generate code in your environment. And memory is basically lets your agent allow to remember the context. So even though if you open a new chat with your agent will remember the context from the previous chats. And we do have guardrails and safety that will put our agent in a safe box based on our filters, so not our agent cannot be corrupted or give messy outputs, right? And I do have my response style, which I want my agent to be structured with clear information. And I want my agent, if it's relevant, structured answers using summary recommendations, relevant policies, and next steps. This is a pretty basic prompting agent instruction best practices, right? Then what I have here is basically I do have my tools. So in order to add tools, we can click on add and we can browse all tools. So these are the current configured tools that we can utilize, which I'm going to be using Code Interpreter, Azure AI Search. Then I'm going to be using Web Search, and you have Catalog, which has a lot of different tools and like MCP servers from different vendors and such, right? And you can actually create your own custom tools and integrate into your agent. So what I'm going to do is I do have a web search tool already configured. What I'm going to do is I'm going to configure Code Interpreter. Then I'm going to configure my Azure AI Search. So in order for my Azure AI Search, actually, let me remove this and let me try to reconfigure it. So in order for your AI search to configure here, I already have it, but basically you can click on connect to a new resource. You need to select your AI search resource, which I created here. Then if you don't have an index, you can create a new index from here, which you can name it here. You need to select a storage account and container, which actually you store your files in, right? So I select my storage account and I do have a container called guides here. If I go to that container, you'll see some documentations like this. So we do have a guides container, which holds my guide documentation, Azure Security Baseline, Cost Optimization Guidelines, and Azure Governance Standards. These are basically mimicking internal company policies or internal company standards like naming standards, tagging standards, security baselines, cost optimization guidelines like what to pay attention, which SKUs are not permitted, which regions are not permitted or permitted, such stuff, right? So basically, I select that. You can utilize authenticate using managed identities, so your AI Foundry can your search service can actually connect your storage account, which here in this case, there's this documentation that tells you which RBAC permissions you need to add. I'm going to put these official documentations down into the description of this video so you can take a look at them. You need to configure those, and you need to select the model. In order to use a model, we need an embedding model with AI Foundry project that is able to vectorize our data, right? So I do have embedding 3 small model here, but you can actually browse to other models that are embedding models, right? So once you select those, you create an index, which will create an index in your AI search, and it will add your Azure AI search tool into your agent. So your agent will be able to vectorize and access your data from your storage account. These are my tools. And next thing is knowledge, right? So if you want to add some knowledge base, this is considered as tools as well. So you can actually add your SharePoint, you can actually add your favorite data agent, or even further, you can add running with Bing Search, which is a different resource that you need to create that is actually does Bing search, like it does detailed Bing search and gives you proper information from the internet, right? Or you have a catalog of different sources which you can integrate. In this case, we already integrated our Azure AI search, which is using my storage account. Then going further, memory is very important, right? It's basically helps to retain context to personalize and improve our interaction with our AI agent. So it's very easy. What I need to do is I need to click on add, and I can create a memory store, which actually creates automatically. I do have my store parameters here. So scope is only scope to my own user, right? And update delay is 30 seconds. I'm leaving at default. Then we do have guardrails here. which are actually as safety and security controls for your agent, right? Because your agent is using an LLM model as a base engine. So what I need to do is I need to manage a guardrail. You can, by default, your agent inherits the guardrails and safety controls from the model that you're using. But if you want to customize it, you can create a guardrail, which will actually, I need to save my changes first, which will actually give you controls like this. So I do have jailbreak. I do have content safety, which basically tells me hate, self-harm, sexual violence. I need to make sure that my agent is not responding and blocking this type of content, right? And we do have protected materials. So I'm gonna basically enable all of these, and I'm gonna say the risk. You can say sensitive identifiable data. So you have PII data. You can actually put a lot of risks here, right? If I click on jailbreak, I see this type of intervention point, which is a user input. So if someone tries to compromise my agent, tries to jailbreak it, I say, hey, block that and do not do anything. Or I can even do sensitive data leakage. So I don't want to leak any data. What I can do is I can select all. So if a user tries to put some sensitive data into my agent will block it, and same, my agent will not output a sensitive data to the user, right? So these are very important security guardrails that needs to be in place with the AI chatbots and agents. And you can either block or annotate it, which I'm going to block it at this point. And next is basically I select my agent, or you can select your models, right? You can directly apply this to the base model that you deployed, or directly to the agent, which in this case I'm going to be doing my agent. What I need to do is, this is my agent. I'm gonna go click create, and what we're gonna do is guardrails version 1, actually v1, right? So I submit it. Now our AI agent is ready. Let's see what it can do. The first task that I want to do is basically saying, hey, I do have 120 virtual machines, couple storage accounts, couple app services. And in order to create them, give me the naming conventions and the tagging standards based on our internal guidance documentation, right? What I'm expecting here is basically, instead of me going through that documentation, finding the necessary information, my AI agent will dig into those documentation and give me the necessary information here. So here you can see it went through them and saying, hey, your naming convention is this, your environment codes are here, your required tags are here, example tags are like this, relevant policies, and next steps. And it gives me the necessary documentation we have there, which is perfect. The second thing that I want to try is basically web search and the memories, right? I do have this prompt saying, based on the size of my environment, which is 120 virtual machines and a couple other things, what are the latest Azure cost optimization strategies and best practices we should consider? Make sure to search Microsoft official documentation and provide the proper links for me to take a look, right? So I want my agent to go through the web search on the Microsoft documentation and give me the necessary information. Here you can see it has given me all the necessary optimization strategies, recommendation best practices. And if I click on here, you can see it opens up the Azure Management Billing main page, which has different category sub pages here. And it also give me the other links with the more detailed section, right? Here you can see it gives me Azure reserved instances, shut down for non-critical, which has the proper links to search through, which tells me my web search is working properly. For our third scenario, I want to use interpreter, memory, and context tools, right? So in order to do that, I do have this Azure environment inventory, which is an Excel sheet or PDF, whatever you call it. I do have resource names on the left, types, details of the resources. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this into my agent, and I'm going to ask for some recommendations. So now we're in the AI Foundry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my inventory file here as a PDF to my agent. Then I do have this prompt saying, analyze the Azure resource inventory I uploaded and identify the potential cost optimization opportunities, highlight these, either virtual machines, unattached disks, such stuff, and estimate the potential monthly savings if resources were optimized. I'm going to send it over. I want my agent to skim through my inventory file and give them the necessary information. In order for my agent to skim through, you can see it basically use code interpreter tool, which is usually using Python to analyze our documentation and actually generate the analysis output. So if I scroll up, you can see I do have a Python script that my agent created, and it actually created a table for me for cost optimization, which is very visually appealing, and it shows me the optimization opportunities and estimated monthly savings recommendations. And it also provides a reference documentation for Azure cost management, which is using by the web search. And we just created our first AI agent using Microsoft AI Foundry. If you find this video helpful, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and put a comment in what type of agents you're creating using which platforms and for what reasons. I'll see you in the next videos.